Hello friends and welcome back. I'm Enterprise Architecture, and last episode we played more Vintagestory and we went a long ranging adventure to try and find more seeds. We had the starting area that was really great, but unfortunately there just weren't a lot of seeds around here, no real plants, only a couple of berry bushes, but we solved that last time, friends. We got hundreds of bushes, we got a couple of dozen seeds, so today it's time to do some planting and maybe do a little bit of cooking. So, with no further ado, let's dive right in. So after the last episode, I realized we needed to expand our farm, so I started working to do that a little bit here and started planting some of the seeds that we had gathered, but I ran out of our high fertility soil pretty quickly. For those of you who are old school, we used to call this terra preta back in the old days, but now it's just called high fertility soil. I mined up all of it that was in this node here. This is where we found the first batch of it, so we can delete that. That's no longer there. If we want more, we're gonna have to go down to the island chain below us. I think this one's the nearest one after that, but we have looks like a little over 3 stacks. That should be enough for today's planting, but as always, as our farm expands, we might want more, so good to know. The good thing about Vintagestory is, although it's hard to find resources, generally speaking, once you do find them, they tend to set you up for a while. So for instance, if you find salt, you're going to find enough salt that's going to last you probably the rest of the game. You're not going to have to continually go around and find more salt. That is the wrong dirt. Let's go ahead and get the right dirt here. We're going to throw this down. Okay, so let's put all of this in this area here. We're just making these donut blocks that I talked about before. That's going to give us nice areas to put water in the middle, and that will keep our ground nice and hydrated. That's the point of that. Now, I also put a basket down over here to hold our extra ingredients, like these various ferns and whatnot, berry bushes, things like that. So we do have that, and a little bit of food if we need to stock up on that as well. But what I am missing is, I think I forgot to bring, no, I did not forget to bring the bucket with us. It was just hiding in my hotbar here. So we're going to go ahead and put this down. We're going to control click there, and then we're going to right click to get another bucket full. Oh, and the water is filling that back up. There we go. All the grass rises. I never noticed that before. I thought everything sank, but apparently not. All right, that's a good start here. Let's just let's put our bucket down over here. I think all of this area is also going to get transformed too, because I think we're going to have way more seeds than just this small amount. So there's our onions started to be put down here. Do we have any more onion seeds, or was that the last of it? I think that was the last of it. All right. We do have a little more flax, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this down here. Most of this is the flax that I just got before. All of this was from our most recent adventure, but I put down a lot of it between episodes because I thought the planting would just take too long to do it all at once. But hey, we really have nothing but time at this point, so we may as well do this. So let's see here. These are turnips. We have turnips somewhere in here. There's more turnips. Let's go ahead and put some more turnips down. Go ahead and break this. There we go. There's a full donut of turnips, and then let's go ahead and put the rest of our turnips down. They are fast growing, if I remember correctly, so hopefully that will make this go a little faster. Oh, it looks like I already hoed all of this. I forgot that. All right, so we're going to throw all of these turnips down, and ideally we're going to plant pretty much all of the crops that we have today. I'm going to go ahead and let's see here, growth time 20 days, 40 days, 40 days, 24 days. I'm going to do all of the turnips, all of the carrots, because it's really important to me that we try and get as much of this done as possible and get some food going very early here. Now, usually I like to be a purist and have only perfect blocks filled in of a given vegetable, but since it's early days, the soil is more important. So let's go ahead and fill in the rest of these with our carrots, just like this. The one exception is going to be the flax over here. I think I'm going to leave the flax alone because we're going to continue to grow that flax field pretty quickly. There we go. There's all of our carrots down. Maybe we go ahead and fill in the rest of our parsnips, maybe. Yeah, I think parsnips are going to be a good thing to do. Let's put these over here. That'll be a good place for them. And then the last row I'm going to add here is going to be for our other grains. We got a little bit of spelt, a little bit of rye. All of that's going to be really useful for us to have. Okay, so parsnips. Let's go ahead and put you in here. There we go. Yeah, a little bit of rye, a little bit of spelt. I wish we had found some other bits of that, but this is just going to get us through the early game. That's all that matters here. Okay, digging this out, making some room for it. And then we are going to go ahead and dig out this next row here, because that's going to be for our rabbit run. We'd done a rabbit run previously. Whoops, dropped some rocks on me. We'd done a rabbit run previously, which was helpful for protecting these precious crops and making sure that rabbits don't come and just eat those all up as soon as they can. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space here, and we're going to dig out a rabbit run too. First things first, let's go ahead and get the rest of these seeds in the ground, and then we can worry about that. Oh, looks like my shovel broke, so we need to make another shovel here real quick. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, in real life yesterday, I spent a good amount of time gathering up my plants from the winter harvest as well. It's getting colder here, so most of my beans have all dried up now, so I took all of my beans and shelled all of the remaining ones I'd saved for seed. And my new kitten helped out a little bit with that. She was very handy at least chasing things around. She doesn't really shell beans so well, but she did a good job of chasing the shells once they were shelled. So that was pretty adorable. But we got all of them shelled, and we also got the basil cut down. So both the Thai and Italian basil are now cut back, and that means those are ready to go to seed, and that's going to be useful for us. We need to get our bucket here again. Let's go ahead and fill this in, and you know what? While we're at it, let's go ahead and fill this last section here. No sense in not going ahead and doing all of it now while we're thinking about it. We probably just won't till it because it's just going to overgrow anyway, so no point in doing that. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's all taken care of. We can go ahead and break this ladder down that we had been using for our rabbit run previously. That gets in and out for us there. Go ahead and go to the wall on this side, and then we'll put the ladder back. Actually, it might make sense to go ahead and put the ladder somewhere a little bit more accessible, like right here at our gate. This might be a good place for the ladder. So let's grab this up, and we'll put our ladder right here. Perfect. Okay. And now we have the ladder. And honestly, you don't actually need to put ladders all the way to the ground. You can actually just put them right here, and your character can climb up them. So maybe we do that on each side instead. It's just a good way to save on resources. We'll put this here. Okay, perfect. All right. So now we just need to carve out the rest of our rabbit run here. Now, in theory, they could actually, I think, jump from this side over to that side, over that gap. So we're just going to give ourselves a little bit more room here before digging the rest of this out. All right, last few seeds to put in here. Nicely, they come up right to 12 seeds, which is basically a block and a half, so that works well. Let's put our spelt down right here. There we go, and then we are going to come over here. We'll go ahead and put the rye down as well. I really wish we had enough inventory space that we could have carried back more of the actual grain. I brought back a little bit of flax with us, but that was it. We unfortunately just completely ran out of room. All right, we are definitely going to need to make more fences here, I think, because this is not going to get us far. That is not where you go. Don't just float in the air like physics don't affect you, and don't go over there either. That's really annoying. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put these fences in, and hopefully these, along with this gap, will keep out most of the critters from eating all of our various food out of here. All right, let's cut down a few more trees here so that we can make a few more of our fences. This should be easy enough for us. Just gotta hack away at these trees, and we get a decent amount off these logs, in addition to all of the sticks we're gonna need for this. So let's gather up all of the logs, all of the sticks here. And you can see this automatically planted a couple of maple saplings. I've got a couple of things turned on in this mod pack that help with that. So one is, every tree is supposed to drop at least one seed if it's a real tree. So that is a mod added. I think it's just one or something. I'll post the full list of mods below so that you can see all of those. So one of the things I've added in this pack, there is a mod that makes it so that every tree should drop at least one seed. So that's how we get a couple of seedlings here that are automatically planting themselves for us. So that should help considerably. Just so that we have, lots of these more rare trees that we might want to grow lots of. So like oak, for instance, usually they're going to drop more seeds, but you want to always make sure you have at least one so that you can continue to perpetuate your seed lines. All right, so just making up a couple of more fences here. I probably need to cut down another tree because I don't think this is going to cut it. So, cut it, no pun intended. There, 9. 9's a good number. So I think that the fence works like this. Is this right? And then we need an axe. Yeah, that's how we do it. So almost like the other block game, but a little different. Okay, so we grab all those back up. We're going to drop a couple of things here, I think, so that we can make room in our inventory for it. So we'll just go ahead and frame in the rest of these. I'm going to go ahead and put another fence down right here, or excuse me, another gate down right here. Oh, but gates are backwards. I always forget this. You always want to put gates towards the way that you want to walk through them out. Oh, nope, it just looks like it's not rotating at all. Oh well, that's fine. We will just have a happy little accident of a gate that is backwards from where we actually want it. That's not a problem. We'll close that in there. Maybe we need another gate over here. No, you know what? I think one on each side is going to be fine for us for now. So there we go. Now we have a gate. And the gate should automatically close behind us. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. It's spring-loaded, you see. So that takes care of that for us. And we'll go ahead and plant these remaining maple seeds just so that we have them down so that it does continue to grow more trees as we need them. And we'll grab that one last log we dropped too. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so all of our planting is now done, except for we do need to clear a space here and start putting down all of the rest of our berry bushes. So I'm going to hack our way through all of these ferns real fast and all the grass, all this stuff, and then we're going to lay down a couple hundred, I think, berry bushes here, so we have plenty of those. Let's take a look in our inventory. Yeah, so we have a lot of berry bushes. We're going to start with these cranberry bushes. I don't love cranberries. Even in real life, I don't particularly love cranberries, but they will certainly be helpful. It'll do the trick for us for now. We're just going to leave ourselves a 1 block gap, and we're going to put down about 32 of these so that we have a nice long row. Actually, it looks like 16 is kind of the perfect width here to end right where our cattail farm is ending. So maybe I'll put another 16 down. And then we know that this row is exactly 16. We'll do another row of 16, and then we'll probably have to start expanding here because I seem to have boxed myself in a little bit in this space. All right, let's see here. Let's do the rest of the currants, and we will also put in our blueberries as well. I'm just going to drop all of these extra ferns and things that we keep finding back over into our storage. One thing to note is that I do believe in this pack I have installed the mod that allows you to turn flowers into seeds. So we're getting 3 seeds off of each horsetail plant. That is a pretty good return on investment for us. And that means we can plant a bunch of horsetails. I don't think we need tilled soil for that. I think you can put them wherever you want, if I remember correctly. So we might go ahead and do that. At the end of this row of cranberries that we had started, I'm going to go ahead and put down a bunch of blueberries here. And then the currants we'll put on the other side. So I think this is going to be more than will fit in this row. That's going to be fine here. We'll just continue to expand. We'll go back this way a little bit with it. All of these ferns are in the way. I wish I had a scythe to cut all of them down. So that might be a thing that we need to make really in the near future. So similarly, we can also use the knife on any of the fruits to be able to get seeds. So if we wanted cranberry seeds, this would be a very quick and easy way to get cranberry seeds. We might do that with our currants if we end up wanting to grow a lot more of those. But for right now, we are not going to do that. Let's see here. Is there anything else that we need from this location? I don't think there is, but I will go ahead and drop my extra fencing in here. I'm going to drop the high fertility soil in here. And let's see here, we will need to maybe make a little bit more space somewhere because we have too much stuff. Now, cow parsley technically counts as a flower, and that's going to be important for us. We're going to need a bunch of flowers later on, so I'm just going to hold on to this, and I might go ahead and grab up these last few pieces that are laying around in this vicinity because I do have plans for those in the near future. While we're at it, let's go ahead and I'm just going to test here that these horsetail seeds, we can just plonk down anywhere, even if it's in untilled soil. So I'm going to throw those down because we're also going to need those in the near future. So right now I'm just gathering up some flowers. This is going to be for our beekeeping later on. I'm just grabbing them while I'm over here because all of this stuff is just kind of in the way right now. And we need to kind of cut everything back a little bit. Oh, I would love to get me a bunch more stone path as well. That might be a future project here that we do. All right, with that done, let's see how all of the things came out of our process of cooking them. All of our clay should be done now, and that means we can gather up all of these items. I don't know why those don't stack when you have them in your hand, but they don't. We did get our chisel mold finally. We've got our scythe mold, nails and strips, and we have our, let's see here, ceramic ingot molds, our anvil mold, our plate mold, and of course our hammer mold. Wonderful. Okay, so for all of these items, I am just probably going to use copper for them. We probably won't do the plate mold for now. We're not going to worry about the anvil mold, but we do need to make some copper for a scythe and for some chisels and for some nails and strips. Let's put down all of these molds. And again, as I mentioned in the previous episode, these molds do come to us from some mods that gives us these. Rather than having to forge everything by hand, this gives us a quicker way of making them without having to go to an anvil. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to put the anvil mold over here for now. We're gonna revisit that also in the future, and I don't think we're gonna need the plate mold right away. So let's put that down there. And let's see here, the hammer mold also. That's going to be another one that we're going to want to use bronze for, not copper. Okay, so the pickaxe mold, we do need to make another tin bronze pickaxe because we're going to give one away to the treasure hunter. So we should make a second one of those. We're not going to worry about hand saws right now, but I am going to make nails and strips. Hopefully we can do 2 of those. So I really should have made a second mold, but let's make a little extra copper for this. So we'll do 2 sets of those. We'll do 1 scythe, so that's going to be 300 all said and done, and then a chisel, we're going to need 150, which is an awkward in-between amount. So we might need to go ahead and do 2 of those as well. So that's going to be 3, and then 2 of these is 5, and then 1 scythe is 6. And I don't think we need to do anything else. So we need 6 copper ingots that we're going to make, and that crucible is down for the count. So let's go ahead and put our other crucible here. We've got that one there, and let's see here. Let's grab up our copper nuggets. Oh, you know what? We might need to go copper hunting because I don't know that this is enough. That's only 420. So I think we're gonna have to be a little bit more choosy. I think we do nails and strips as a priority because I want a chest. Chest means more inventory space. So we'll definitely do a chest with that. We will do a scythe with that. And I guess that's not enough to finish out the last one. So maybe we just do 60 for now, and then we save the extras so that we can make 1 more tin bronze pickaxe. I think that's the way to go. All right, so let's put that in there. We're gonna go grab up our peat. Oh, for Pete's sake. And I think that's enough. Probably more than enough if I'm being honest with myself here. Let's put 8 in here. And then we just need to make sure that our torch is in the on hand, and we'll light that up. Perfect. Okay. So peat is plentiful right now, which is why I'm using so much peat for things. While that's going, let's just take a brief break and go get a few more cattails here to see if we can't make 1 more of our cattail baskets. And I think, yeah, our cattail crop that we planted has already come up. I've got everything on double speed for growing, which makes it really, really nice for us here. Okay, actually we did better than I thought. We did 48 or 45 of those, and we need 48, I think, to make 2 sets of baskets. So that should be plenty. 3 times 8, 24, yeah. So if I have 3 more cattails nearby, I should be able to go ahead and use those up. Are there none in here? Yeah, there are none in here. Let me go find 3 more somewhere off over in the wilderness. I see a bunch over there that we can grab. All right, so I was wrong. Copper does indeed need to have something hotter than peat. So in our case, that does mean we are going to need a little bit of charcoal just to get us up to that 1900, because this is only going to get us up to 1650. So we're just going to hang out for a second, let that get a little hotter, and then we are going to switch out here. I had forgotten my temperatures, especially since now I'm using Fahrenheit instead of Celsius, or freedom units, I guess we should say. All right, any second now, and we're not going to put all of this in here. Let's go ahead and put 6 to start. I think that'll be plenty. Climbing, climbing, climbing. Just when this gets up to 650, we can swap out. I guess this is close enough. Rather than burning another block of peat, we will go ahead and put our charcoal in now. And that should then ignite and start getting us closer to that 1900. We are, of course, going to need our tongs from the wall. That's going to be important for us. And now this should get us, yeah, this is getting comfortably up to that temperature here. So this should start turning green in just a second. There we go. You see the green is starting to flow, and that means we are getting pretty close. While that is going, let's take some cranberries here and give ourselves a little snack. We will go ahead and make up those 2 more reed baskets that I was hoping for, because we are desperately in need of more storage as well. Let's see here. Snacking, snacking, snacking. There we go. Okay, and now 66 cattails. Hopefully, yeah, that's enough for 2 reed chests, not baskets. Baskets go in the hand, chests do not. That gives us 18 extra cattails, and I believe if we pull out our knife, does that allow us to turn these into, oh, we can't turn these into seeds. I thought they turned into seeds as well, but apparently these, you can only use the roots. So we have plenty of roots. I got all of the extras that I had over there. So we'll go and replant those in just a few minutes once we are done with our copper. We can't let our ADHD get the better of us here. We have to do one thing at a time and make sure that we are finishing our crafts before moving on to the next project. All right, and there we go. Now we have our finished crucible. Let's grab up our extra charcoal. We are going to take this out here and let's go ahead and take care of these in order. The scythe is important, so let's go ahead and do that to start. All right, let's go ahead and do our nails and strips. And we don't have enough to finish the rest of these for right now, so I think we are just gonna have to hang out because I think we've only got, yeah, 100 left in there, 1 more. So we just need to wait for these to cool down. Let's go ahead and put this back on the fire though. We don't want this to completely cool down because if it does, then we will run into trouble. So it's holding its temperature pretty well for now. We don't want this to go too much below where it's at because then we will have a problem. So let's see here. These are cooling relatively rapidly. I just want them to cool before this cools down. So yeah, that's staying at 2193. It's not, nope, it just drops a little bit. It's continuing to drop. Okay, we might need to put 1 more piece of charcoal on here just to make sure that we maintain temperature in the time it's going to take for these other ones to cool down. Got to stay above that 1900. So still liquid copper. It used to be that you could throw these into water and it would quench and cool down rapidly. That no longer seems to be the case. It looks like they've changed that. So I think these actually break if you do that and you just get like garbage back, or at least that's what I thought I saw on the internet. So just have to wait for these to cool down naturally from liquid copper into a usable heated copper. Okay, our copper has finally hardened, and unfortunately, it took me a really long time and a lot of extra charcoal to keep the fire going inside there. You can hear it right now, to wait for these all to cool off. So unfortunately, these are still really, really hot at the moment. We can actually put them inside of a basket without fear though, so that's not a problem. Our scythe is now done, which is exciting. We can hang that up. But now we need to grab up this crucible, and you can see we've gone through just way too many extra pieces of charcoal there. I just wasted so much here, which is an important life lesson for us all, or at least a vintage story lesson. You should only make as much copper as you have molds for. It's just not going to cool fast enough now that you can't do the quenching trick, and that's something I keep forgetting. So in the meantime, yeah, just only make exactly what you're going to use, and moreover, just don't cheap out when you're making all of your various molds here. It's really not worth it because inevitably you're gonna end up using it anyway. So just spend the extra couple of minutes and make up the molds for the full things that you need. So extra nails and strips molds, anything that you're going to making bulk of, because it makes more sense to do it all at once. All right, so the good news is we do have enough planks already cut that we can make up 2 chests, which is an excellent improvement. Where did those go? I had them a moment ago, but now they've disappeared. Oh, they went into basket. Of course they did. All right, so let's go ahead and hang up our tongs real fast. Put those back here. We do not have anything on our back right now, so the first thing we're going to do is put down a chest here. Let's put another one down here, actually, just for storage. So let's go ahead and grab this up, and nope, we don't want to put it there. You got to back away. There we go. Let's put that on our back, and now we have plenty of storage on our back for all of the items that we are going to need to gather in the near future here. All right. Everything else can start to go in some of these extra reed chests that I made, and these do hang nicely on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're just going to do some inventory sorting real quick here, just to make less of a mess of all of this. So the last thing I wanted to do is make up some porridge today. So let's go ahead and grab up some of our grain here. We've got a little bit of rye, we've got a bunch of spelt and a bunch of flax. I think we're going to start with the rye, and then we will go ahead and grab ourselves, I don't know, maybe some turnips. Make a nice little turnip mash of some sort. Let's do that. And we'll put this here. And if we put this here, we should get 2 servings of porridge. There we go. I don't think we can combine them yet. It has to be 2 individual ones. And then if I put 2 here, yeah, there we go. That's going to double up on the amount of mashed turnip there. I don't know if we combine the fruits along with those or not. Let's find out real quick, because that would be even more healthy for us. And I do know that we're only doing 2 portions. That's not a lot. Oh, we can combine them. Okay, great. So cranberries, turnips, and rye. All we have to do now is throw some firewood in here, and then we can light this up. And hopefully in just a few short minutes, we will have a delightful, delightful meal here. All right, this is just about done here. I've just been cooking with firewood. I didn't need to bother with anything else. We do have a couple of logs laying around still that we can use, but in just a second, this should then turn into a crock of our porridge. And there we go. Perfect. We have some porridge. Let's go ahead and throw this down here, and we're going to use our crock to grab that up. Let's see here. Can we go ahead and transfer into there? There we go. And with that, I say we're looking pretty good. We got our fields increased significantly. We got all of our new seeds planted. We got a chest made so that we can go on bigger adventures. And we got all of our other plants planted over here, all these bushes and everything. So that's looking pretty great. And also we have a tasty and delicious porridge waiting for us at home whenever we decide to stop for the day. So for now, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.